Hello YouTube, it's Bojaris here, the Son of Thunder, coming to respond to a video posted titled The Failed Prophecies of the Bible, posted by the Atheist Paladin. And in response to this video, I'm going to expose the false, eisegetical assertions, bold, arrogant assertions, which really, the best way to put it is in the words of James Brown, Mr. Paladin, you're talking loud, but you ain't saying nothing! Unbelievable. Anyway, I want to start the video off by, playing a little bit back of what he was stating in his video. I'll put the link up to his video in this window, but it should show up also as well as a response. I'm also going to put some links into some of the resources I used to compile my argument and blow this fallacious assertion out of the water, so to speak. Take a listen for a few minutes. Here's the Atheist Paladin. Best thing about that video is the music.
Greetings, theists and non-theists. I am the Atheist Paladin. Today's topic will be failed Bible prophecies. I'm going to be mainly dealing with the Old Testament. I'm going to be giving you some of the failed prophecies and some of the apologetics for it.
Right there, failed prophecies and the apologetics for it. Let me define apologetics for you, Mr. Paladin. Apologetics is a systematic argumentative discourse in defense of, as in a doctrine. So you're not offering a defense of the doctrine of theology or prophecy. You're making a very weak attempt to try to state it as being false. It's also a branch of theology devoted to the defense of the divine origin and authority of Christianity. So there's your first faux pas.
I'm not going to give you all of it because there's a lot to handle. So I'm just going to give you...
You couldn't handle the part you bit off, my man.
A taste of it for like 10 minutes, and I'm going to give you the rest of the links and let y'all do the work yourselves. The only prophecies I'm going to tear apart are those concerning...
See, there's the arrogance. The prophecies I'm going to tear apart. It'll become painfully evident that you did little to no research, biblically speaking, for what you're attempting to refute, weakly refute, I might add. But let's keep going. This is just some of the stuff that originally bothered me in the video, but let's go.
Supposed fulfillment by Jesus himself. But that's not this video. First, let's define what a prophecy is. A prophecy is a prediction of event in advance by a person. Normally, it is divinely revealed by a supernatural force. In Deuteronomy 18, the Bible says if a prophet is less than 100% accurate, do not regard him as God's prophet.
Okay, let's stop listening to that at this point, and let's just go ahead and declare the prophet Ezekiel a prophet. Okay, the Bible covers many areas of prophecy, and in addition to messianic prophecies, the Bible contains nearly 2,000 prophecies concerning almost every nation within 1,000 miles of Jerusalem. I strongly suggest researching and internalizing some of these prophecies to make sure you know what you're talking about. And I'm going to speak to directly what he talks about. Like I said, you can listen to his video, but he's basically highlighting the prophecy regarding Tyre in Ezekiel 26 and its fulfillment. Tyre basically was no small obscure village. It was a great Phoenician city and a world capital for over 2,000 years. I'm going to post a small-scale map of Tyre and Sidon and the connecting path between the two cities. And something else that Paladin does in this video is basically mishmash together his comprehension of what Tyre is and what Sidon is. But anyway, to continue, it was to the sea what mighty Babylon was to the land. It was a great trading city. Yet, in the heyday of its power, the prophet Ezekiel had the audacity to predict for it a violent future and an ultimate destruction. This downfall will be due to Tyre's flagrant wickedness and arrogance, traits that were personified in its ruler, Idobal II, who claimed also to be God. Ezekiel predicted that many nations would come up against Tyre in Ezekiel 26:3, that Babylon, under Nebuchadnezzar, would be the first to attack it in verse 7, and that Tyre's walls and towers would be broken down in verse 4 and 9, that the stones, the timbers, and the debris of the great city would be thrown down into the sea in verse 12, that its location would be a bare rock and a place for the drying of fishermen's nets in verses 4, 5, and 14. And finally, that the city of Tyre would be never be rebuilt in verse 14. History bears eloquent testimony to the fact that all this is precisely what happened. Many nations did come up against Tyre and the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Muslims, the Crusaders, to just name a few. Nebuchadnezzar was indeed the first of these invaders who, after a 13-year siege, broke down the walls and towers of mainland Tyre, thus fulfilling the first of Ezekiel's prophecies. Remember, look at the map. Nebuchadnezzar's massacred all of Tyre's inhabitants, except for those who escaped to an island fortress a half a mile out in the Mediterranean Sea. Centuries after Ezekiel's body had decomposed in its grave, Alexander the Great fulfilled a major portion of the prophecy. That's probably the only part that you alluded to that you were slightly accurate about. In order to conquer the island's fortress of Tyre without the luxury of a navy, he and his celebrated architect Diades devised one of the most brilliant engineering feats of ancient warfare. They built a causeway, that's the connecting strip I was talking about, between Tyre and Sidon, from Tyre's mainland to the island's fortress, using millions of cubic feet of rubble left over on mainland Tyre. Rubble, destruction. Thus Tyre was scraped as bare rock, just as Ezekiel had predicted. So everything that remained from the destruction of Nebuchadnezzar and that was left on the land was scraped up by Alexander the Great, and they made a causeway out of it, leaving Tyre bare like a rock where you could dry fishermen's nets on. The most astonishing of Ezekiel's predictions was that Tyre would never be rebuilt. This is singularly incredible because Tyre is strategically located on the east coast of the Mediterranean Sea. It also contains the springs of Risalane, which pumps 10 million gallons of fresh water daily, enough to take care of the needs of a modern city. Yet history records that after a succession of invasions, Tyre finally and irrevocably fell in AD 1291, never to be rebuilt again. Today, Tyre has been humbled to the point of becoming a place